Hello! You're watching The Spirit Journey, where we talk about entrepreneurship, spirituality, and personal growth. In this video, we're going to be talking about branding, personal branding, and the branding of companies in particular. If you're new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing, and don't forget to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. And with that, let's talk about branding. What is branding? In my opinion, branding is the visual symbolism and emotional energy that is tied to a certain company or project or person. Branding can go so far as to encompass reputation and, the little daily interactions that we have with a company or with a person's personal brand can represent their reputation and what we expect from them in the future based upon what we've seen from them in the past. I heard a really great quote that stuck with me, that people who are ignorant about digital marketing focus on sales, and people who are ignorant about branding focus on digital marketing. So basically what that means is that if you understand how to run ads and collect leads through different platforms like Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and Instagram, then you might not cold call people to sell your product. But if you understand how to cultivate a personal brand that millions of people rely on and follow and love, then you might not need to run ads. You might just, post once about a new product and already have your first customers lining up. Warren Buffett, the very famous billionaire investor, says that he likes to invest in companies that have strong visual and emotional branding, such as Coca-Cola, because a strong brand means that a company can charge more for their product and not compete on price. So if you're selling lipstick and you don't have a recognizable brand, you have to compete with other lipstick vendors on price. Maybe your lipstick is $6 or $10 or something like that because nobody knows who you are, so why should they pay, top premium value for your item? But if you're Rihanna and you launch Fenty Beauty, you can charge $30 or maybe even $40 for a tube of lipstick because people acknowledge and respect and recognize your brand and are willing to pay a premium price for the brand. On a visual level, a brand is seen as maybe like a logo and maybe a font that's really recognizable. Usually a logo will have one particular color, like if it's a tech company, like the blue color for Twitter, or that, other blue color, that dark blue for Facebook. Of course, there's that green color for Starbucks and the weird little mermaid that has something to do with coffee apparently, but everybody knows it, everybody knows the brand. So that's what a brand is on a visual level. On an emotional level, the brand is the emotional feeling that a person gets when they interact with the company. So when you walk into an Apple store, you feel like you're on the cutting edge of technology and innovation. You feel like if you purchase the product, you'll magically be better at coding or design, or your life will be more blessed in some way. And when you buy a cup of Starbucks, you feel like this sense of belonging and hominess and comfort because the product is always the same at every store and it's familiar and good tasting. So now let's give some examples of exemplary or exceptional brands and what they do well. So the first brand to talk about is Apple. Apple, founded by Steve Jobs, has an incredible brand presence. Every detail of an Apple device is beautifully designed, colorful, and relatively easy to use. The Apple logo, I actually realized this at some point. I thought it was so cool. How in the biblical story of Adam and Eve eats the apple and she comes upon new knowledge and information and she corrupts Adam or whatever, but she is getting new knowledge and information from eating this apple. I think that might be where the idea for the brand really comes from, because it's like an apple with a bite taken out of it. And if you think about it, what an Apple device does, it opens you up and gives you access to tons of new knowledge and inspiration. So that's a powerful story to back up a brand. And Apple is a cool and creative name that you wouldn't really think of when you think of a computer. So that creates a unique branding element there that, an apple has something to do with a computer. The original Apple logo had different colors to it, so it kind of evoked inspiration and creativity. But the new Apple logo is more simplified and usually seen in a gray color or just a single color. on its own. One of my personal favorite brands is Airbnb, founded by RISD students. I went to RISD, so I admire the work ethic of the RISD founders of Airbnb. I think I love Airbnb's branding so much because if you think about it, Airbnb is not really that different from Craigslist, but it is worth so much more money as a company because their design and their branding is so incredible. Like, Craigslist makes me feel like I'm going to be scammed and like, you know, it's kind of sketchy and like, do you really want to like rent an apartment on Craigslist? Like, maybe. But Airbnb makes me feel like the person I'm connecting with is going to be a great host and possibly offer me breakfast. And if you think about it, it's not really a different product, it's just a different branded experience. And I think that that's really powerful for us to understand. Another incredible brand that I admire and love is Starbucks. I have bought so many Starbucks coffees in my time and spent countless infinite hours studying in Starbucks. I think what I love about Starbucks is how homey it feels and how, especially in the suburbs, you can just sit in a Starbucks for hours on end getting things done. The Wi-Fi is reliable. The people are usually pretty friendly. They try to remember your name, which is a nice detail and touch that contributes to their brand. And the coffee always tastes the same, and I think it tastes good. It doesn't keep me awake at night. You can tell the Starbucks brand from a block away by its big green logo with the mermaid in the middle, and it's a very identifiable brand that many people love. Another tech company that has differentiated itself based on brand is Robinhood. If we look at what Robinhood does, it allows people to invest in stocks, which isn't fundamentally very different from what Fidelity does, for example. But Robinhood has managed to attract 14 million young investors to their mobile app and platform in general. And they do so because Robinhood, the name and the logo, represents the little guy. There's a story of a guy named Robin Hood, and he's sort of the underdog in the story. And so there's an element and a story there to their brand that elevates their status and makes them identify with the young and inexperienced investor. And then if you look at their platform, they have, you know, a couple green colors that represent their brand. And the design is really clean and beautiful and fun and easy to use. And so their brand really has elevated them past other mobile investing apps like Stash or like even Wealth Simple, you know, other apps that you haven't heard of and don't use. And the functionality of the apps are all pretty similar, but Robinhood has the best brand. Another brand that I admire and love is Tesla. Of course, the Tesla brand is tied in with the personal brand of CEO Elon Musk, and Elon Musk's personal brand makes Tesla feel, you know, like a different company, like a more innovative and insightful and funny and meme-worthy company. But if you look at a Tesla, it's well designed. The technology is pretty seamless. If you ride inside a Tesla, it feels like you're driving a giant iPhone. It creates a new experience, a new user experience that previously didn't exist to the same extent that it does with the Tesla. And if you think about what Tesla is constantly doing, it's constantly pushing the envelope and innovating and creating new products and coming out with headlines that show that they're trying to make progress in the market. So I associate Tesla with innovation and design. Finally, there's a brand like Equinox, which is a like premium gym, I guess you could call it. Their advertising is really abstract and cool and sort of like niche and makes you feel like you're part of a membership or part of a club. And so Equinox can charge a lot more for its gym memberships than like 24-hour fitness because of their elite and high scale brand. So I hope you learned something today about branding and the value of a brand within a big company or a small company. What do users feel when they use your product? What do they see and what do they think of when they look at your logo? Branding can make the difference between a company that isn't valuable and one that is. I mean, really every company has to offer a solid product in order to be viable, but brand can significantly increase how much consumers perceive your company to be worth. So it's really important to value branding and design and to prioritize great branding. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel and definitely smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. I've enjoyed speaking with you today, and I hope to see you in the next one. All right, peace.